Welcome back to edtech. Today I'll be discussing all about arithmetic operators. So this is my third tutorial on JavaScript. Let's get started. Okay, so first in arithmetic operator we'll be talking about numbers, number of addition. As we all know in arithmetic, we know what's a number and we know what's an addition number. I have covered in my previous lesson, and addition you already know, it's adding two numbers, two or more numbers. Okay, so let's see how we do it, how the operation is carried out. We've already talked about the variables, so we talk of a variable x or x. Let's give it a value of 5. Let's take another variable y. Let's give it a value of 7. Let's try to add them up. So the syntax that we write could be console.log x plus y, right? The two numbers, you need to add them up. Don't forget the semicolon. And then let's run. As expected, the value is 12. Now, aside from console.log, we can also use the syntax alert, but I'll be sticking more to console.log, just giving an example of alert here. Let's run again. It's again 12. So you can use either of the syntaxes. So next we talk about reverse of addition is subtraction, right? So number subtraction. Okay, let's see how we operate that. We take a variable x, give it a value of 10. We take another variable, give it a value of 5. Console.log x minus y. Let's run it. It's 5 as expected. Let's do another operation, multiplication. Okay, let's take a variable x, give it a value of 10. Variable y, 2. So for multiplication, what's the symbol you use? X and y. This is how you say for multiplication. And then let's run it. 20. So this is right. Next, you just need to practice a bit, then you can get the syntax right. It's quite easy. Then number division. Okay, variable x equal to, let's say, 20. Variable y, let's say, equal to 5. Console.log x divided by y. Correct, 4. So the result is 4. As you see the result here, and we already know. So what we are trying to say is, all these operations, this is the way it's done. Give the variable, two different variables, call it x, y, a, b, whatever, give them the allocated values, put the semicolon, make a statement like this, then you can alert for it or console.log for it in order for the value to appear here in the console screen. Or uh, uh, what I'm trying to say is, when you talk of the operator system as such, the operation as such, the syntax is here. The console.log is for the value to appear on the screen or the alert, but the actual operation is, as you can see here, x plus y, x minus y, x multiplied by y, x divided by y. So you have to remember these operation symbols. Plus is the same as we use in regular additions and the subtractions. More or less it's the same except for the multiplication. So you can just remember that. The symbols, I mean. Then you have, aside from that, you have the division remainder or modulus operator. It's called in JavaScript Modulus Operator or division remainder, and the symbol is percentage. Okay, we see how. Let's give variable x a value of 12, variable y a value of 5, let's say. Just for example's sake, console.log x percentage of y. Now what exactly are we trying to do here? When you divide the x by y, okay, whatever the remainder, division remainder, after you divide it, what is the balance remainder, that is called the modulus operator value or the division remainder value. For example, here 12, when you divide the 12 by 5, 2 is a quotient, and what is the balance remainder? 5 2s are 10, right? And the remainder would be 2, right? So that 2 will be the result, and that 2 is the result for division remainder. Let's run it. 2. Okay, let's say we take another example. Let's say var x equal to again 12, variable y equal to, let's say 2 in this case. Okay, what would be the remainder in this case? Nothing, right? Because 2 6 are 12. 12 divided by 2 gets you no remainder. It's completely divisible. So there's no balance, there's no remainder. So what should be the remainder? Should be 0. So console.log x percent should give you 0 ideally. Yes, here you go, this is the 0, so this is correct. Next we talk of exponentiation. Exponentiation you must have already done in arithmetic earlier. This is a symbol for that. Let's do it with an example. Variable x, let it be 2, variable y, let us give a value of 3. Okay, so this is a symbol for that, so you have to do this twice. So this is something like x to the power y. Yeah, so how much should it be? 2 to the power 3. Ideally it should be how much? 8, right? There you go, you have the value of 8. If you don't follow, you can always tell me in the comment section. I can do another chapter on it, but it's quite simple, I believe. Okay, now this can be, we can use another expression for the same operation. It's called math.power. This is the symbol for that, syntax for that, I mean. Math.power, in this case 2, 3. Console.log math.power. So instead of 2.3, if you write x, y, let's run it. Yeah, it's giving the same value. So it's 2 to the power 3, which is x to the power y, which is quite easy. Okay, let's take some more examples. What if variable x equal to 2, variable y equals 2, variable z equals 2. So what if we do the exponentiation value for this? Console.log math.power sorry, so x comma y comma z. Let's run it. No, this is not supposed to be 4. Oh yes, because I wrote x here, you see, printed the wrong figure. Okay, x, y, z. Okay, let's do it. Console.log okay. Yes, 16. Just stick to this for the time being. Okay. Now we have another operator, which is increment. Okay, this is the plus plus. Variable x, let's say 2 x, this is the syntax for it. Variable y equals x, let's say. So console.log y. So what is this trying to say is, we are incrementing the value of x by x plus plus, and variable y is taking on the value of x after the increment, and then we are calling the alert or calling the log for value of y, which is going to be the increment value of x. So let's run it. 3, because x was original value 2. Whenever you run the increment of x plus plus, it always increases by 1. So 2 plus 1 should be 3. So now the value of variable y, which has taken on the value of the incremented x, when you call for it, it will assume the value of 3 because it is incremented by 1. Okay, let's do the operator for decrement. It's a reverse, of course. So variable x equals to x minus minus variable y equals x console.log y. Now here it's just the reverse operator. Just instead of x plus plus is x minus minus. Then we are calling for the value of y after the decrement. So it should be 2 minus 1. Instead of plus 1, it should be 2 minus 1. So the value should be 1. Let's run and see. There you go. It's value 1. Correct. Okay. Next. This is called operator precedence. That means when we are doing the particular operation, which operation takes precedence over the others. Let's see. This happens when there are multiple operators in one line. Okay, let's give variable x a value of 100, variable y value of 40, variable z a value of 2. Okay, let's say we want to add x plus y and then do the multiplication for z. Let's see how it is happening. X plus y multiply z. Let's see what's happening here when we run the console. What is the value here? 180. So what's happening here? How do you get the 180? How can you explain? So it's 100. This is 100 and this is 100. This is 40. This is 2. So 40 multiplied by 2 is 80. So 100 plus 80, right? So that means what is happening first? The multiplication is happening first. 40 multiplied by 2 is happening first, and then adding on to 100, which is why the value comes as 180. So whenever there's an addition or subtraction and multiplication, what's taking the precedence? The multiplication or the division takes precedence over the addition. So this is just for your information. Okay, next. Let's say same precedence. What happens here? Okay, in this case, We are just going to use the same precedence operator, that is, addition and subtraction, as I said just now, belong to the same level and importance. When you're doing addition, subtraction, and multiplication, division, then the addition, subtraction, which belongs to the same level, takes second precedence, whereas multiplication and division takes, which is of the same precedence, takes the first importance. But in this case, you have just the same operator, same level operator. Then how does the operation go? Let's see. For the same above numbers, if I say console.log x plus y minus z, and then I run, this becomes 138, the result. Why? Because in that scenario, whatever happens in the left, it just continues in that order from left to right. So here it's 100, next is 40, so 100 plus 40, 140, minus z, which is 2. So 140 minus 2, 138. So the value, the operation just takes place in that order from left to right, because plus and minus belongs to the same level of operation. The precedence addition or subtraction cannot take place first. It just follows the direction from left to right, the values from left to right. Whatever operation is happening from left to right, it will just follow that operation. Unless if you want to change this rule, the only idea is to do like this. If you want to change this pattern and rule, so what you can do is x, let's first write it down, x plus y minus z. Let's just write it down first. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so you just write a parenthesis. Let's say if you don't write that, it will just follow this order. So if you want the second operator to take place first, or let's say, okay, let's do like this and see what happens. Let's just see what happens here. Okay, let's run this and see what happens. It is still 138. Why? Because y minus z would be how much? 40 minus 2, 38. 100 plus 38. So it's still the same. And then it doesn't make a difference. So in this case, it doesn't matter. This only you can do when the operators have different level of precedence. Like the earlier one, for example, where you have plus and multiplication. Like for example, here it was addition taking place last, multiplication first. You can beat that rule. Okay, let's do it this way. Let's beat it by putting a bracket here. Okay, now let's see what happens. It's 280, as you can see. Why? Because since you put a bracket here, parenthesis here, or a bracket here, so what will happen? This part will get operated first. So 100 plus 40, 140, multiplied by 2 is 280. But had we not put this, then it will go back to this value, which is 180. Why? Because the addition takes place last, the multiplication is given most importance. I hope you understood this. Okay, so there are other operators as well in JavaScript, which I'll be covering in the next tutorial. If you find something which you don't understand or have queries or doubts, you can always put that in the comment section. I'll be also including a link to the code over there in the description. Anything else you can mention in the comment. And for all those who are already subscribed, thanks for staying subscribed. Those who are not subscribed, if you find it interesting, you can subscribe for more such lessons. That's totally up to you. Thank you.